Well, we had good news about unemployment this week, which is overall we've got a 0.8% claimant count, approaching 2% of people using what's called the International Labour Organisation method. But basically everybody who's unemployed is somebody who's suffering because they haven't quite got the income that they would have if they weren't unemployed. So therefore, a big focus for this government has been devising schemes to help people back into work. The overall aim of our government is making our island inclusive and caring, and that means basically getting everybody to participate in economic growth and society, and if you can't, those who can, caring for those who can't. So some of these schemes are things like up at the college, focusing on lifelong earning and new types of apprenticeships and new types of schemes. In the unemployment office, benefit office, social security office, we're no longer focusing on just systems. We're actually focusing on trying to understand more about the situation of people and offer them support around that. So the services have come together under that social security division to provide support as necessary.
So which groups are these forms of support aimed at?
Well, everybody across the piece in the programme for government, women, it's hard to get back to work in the Isle of Man, so you've got to tackle that in terms of giving back confidence, making sure that the childcare facilities are there, making sure that the work is flexible enough to suit modern living. If you're disabled, you need certain types of skills that come in with the Equality Act. Look, what it all goes back to is we made a clear commitment in the programme for government to have clearer support back to work. People are better off in work in at least two ways. First of all, it gives you some confidence about yourself, and secondly, it provides you with more income. And ultimately, the more income you've got, the more money in your back pocket, obviously, and the more you can do with that. And that in itself is good for you. Not everybody can work. Work's not everything. Not everybody wants to work, but most people do get some value from work, not only through self-esteem as well as through income. And that's what I'm here talking to you about. Every person who's unemployed, it's a shame for them, it's a shame for all of us. And so therefore, it's important for government to not blame them, not shame them, but trying to do something to help them and get them to focus on their strengths and help them back into the work by making the structures around them in government and in society and in the employment market more suitable.
You mentioned the unemployment figures, which have come out quite recently. Unemployment, while quite low, there do seem to be enough vacancies about. Is there a reason why people aren't filling the vacancies?
Yeah, it must be to do with the jobs not being suitable for the people. So you can help people and you can make the jobs better in terms of flexibility, in terms of where they're located. We've got an issue in the island between the regions as well. The north has a greater unemployment rate than around Douglas and the other parts of the east and the south. So we've got to do something about that in terms of where jobs are. We've got to do that in terms of where childcare and things like that are located relative to jobs as well. So what we're trying to do is think through the problem and come up with workable solutions to help people help themselves, basically. It's as simple as that.
You talked about as well the benefits to the individual of being employed, but what are the wider benefits to the economy?
Well, to the economy, they're huge. That's such a perceptive question because the more money people have got in the back pockets, the more they can spend in the shops, on leisure, on general activity, just more generally, and that's good for the domestic economy. Secondly, sad to say this, but from a politician's point of view, the more people who are working, the more tax they'll pay, and the better our healthcare can be, and the better our education system can be, and next generations will be better set up. The more we can do about climate change, the more we can do about the quality of roads. So it's win-win, and having somebody unemployed is a bad thing for them. We haven't got very many people unemployed in the island, so therefore we're really, really focusing on increasing the economically active population, on increasing the earnings of all of those in work, and essentially tackling the problem in that way.
Your colleagues in Department for Enterprise launched a scheme earlier this year, the Locate strategy, to bring in graduates that are across, possibly from the island originally. But does bringing people to the island cause a problem then for those who live over here and don't have jobs? Well,
yeah, of course it can, and we don't want to substitute opportunities both for people who are here but also people who might have stayed here if they hadn't had to go away. And locate.im has been misunderstood. It's not only about encouraging people to move to the island, it's also about creating opportunities just like I've described for people to stay on the island and for people who are on the island to increase earnings and get a better quality of life. So locate locate.im is only successful if it's working for local people, those who've been local for some time and those who become local by coming here or coming back here.
So if you are looking for some help to get back into work, where do you go to find out more information about the help that's available?
I mean, regular places. It's not something new that I'm telling you, but it's the college, it's the careers service, it's the social security office. Essentially, we're looking for more activity in terms of lifelong learning. There's special provision in terms of disability through services, not quite as joined up as we would like it to be eventually. The changes are not happening quite as quickly as most of us would like, but they are beginning to come through, and it's certainly going to be a feature of this coming 12 months.